Hey everybody, Ron Onesti here from the Arcada Theatre, live hanging with some old buddies. We were just reminiscing with John J. Ranke here, originally from the Chicago area as part of Johnny Star and the Meteors, but for the last 18 years has been the J in the Americans. And of course, another legend in the music industry, Sandy Dean, an old buddy. And you guys, I almost didn't recognize you because I've never seen you in black shirts. I'm like, who are these people?
Well, yeah,
Oh, right?
usually it's red, white, and blue.
So again, it's great to see you guys. We've got December 29th, return to the Arcada Theater, which, what people around the country don't realize is that you've had such a busy summer, practically doing, all these, what do you call the tour that you did? It's a
Oh,
Happy
we
Together tour,
we did the Happy Together tour this past summer, and we're doing it again this summer.
which means you don't do a whole lot of Jane and the American shows when you get so bogged down with 50, 60, 70 of those shows, right?
Yeah,
It
well,
makes it a little rough to schedule any J. The American shows in the middle of that.
the summer is gone, but we do work in Janie American shows the rest of the year. But we have to be real cautious because we can't conflict with the areas that we're hitting in the Happy Together. You know,
Exactly.
wanna you don't want to overexpose yourself.
Exactly. And that's my point. My point is because Happy Together comes to Chicago here. This is kind of a little bit of a rare appearance for Jay and the Americans now in light of the Happy Together tour. So December 29th at the Arcada Theater. And your shows are always so wonderful, so all American, so red, white, and blue, brings everybody back, to their favorite music. And I tell you, the fans go nuts for you guys. I mean, it's got to be something to still, after all these years, Jane the American started early 60s. Matter of fact, "CARA MIA," probably one of my top three, four, five songs, of all time.
You're
Was
Italian.
Pardon me?
You're not Italian, are you?
A little bit. It's like an anthem almost. You got that, you got
Sure.
My Way, you got, a few of those. But turn 60 next year, so it's got to be something to be able to hop on a stage for you guys and really see the audience still be so excited about your music.
It's a blessing. Absolutely a blessing.
We're very fortunate.
That's why we're still working so hard because the audience, it's like Woodstock every night. It's really great.
Yeah, they you can see they really get into it. They walk in excited, almost like they were back teenagers or back in the back seats of the cars, listening to your music, and it's nice to have that all come back. Um, I got to ask you, I know our good buddy Darren Dowler. We go back 100 years with Paul Revere and the Raiders. He was with the
Right.
Righteous Brothers for a minute, but he has joined you guys.
That's right. We freshened everything got freshened up because not only are we doing all of those classic Janie Americans hits, but with Darren, now he's playing lead guitar for us. He's a great vocalist in his own right. And we do a couple of the Paul Revere and the Raiders songs, and the audience goes nuts. I mean, that just bang, it just kind of makes everything else seem so terrific and new. Yeah,
Well, plus,
good.
Darren and I team up on You've Lost That Love and Feeling. And boy,
Yeah.
that song has really been exciting for us.
Yeah. Two lead singers banging it out.
It's wonderful to see this. It's still even after close to 60 years, um, it's still fresh. It's still evolving.
Work hard at keeping it fresh. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to be bored either.
Right.
Constantly working and, you know, peeking at little things. Because every little thing that you change freshens everything else.
Yeah, and you could tell that. You could tell, when the act itself is as excited as the audience. You could feel it. You could feel the energy. You could see the excitement in the entertainers' faces, and that just makes it for a much much better experience, a bigger show. And I can always get that from you guys, Jay and the Americans. We always sell out. And we're really looking forward to you guys, December 29th. Give me something else about the show. When people walk in, tell me overall what they can expect.
Well, we
Well,
could,
I think what you're gonna be seeing is, number one, all your Jay the Americans' favorite hits, we're gonna be playing them all. But like I said, with the extra songs that we're throwing in that Darren's doing, we do a little bit of Orbison, Elvis. It's a little something for everybody, but it's mixed in with all the great songs that this group made over the years.
we also we also tell the stories of the songs. In other words, we give people not just the music, but the story behind the music, you know, and some of the people that we worked with, some of the people whose careers we fostered, and some of the songwriters we were involved with. It kind of gives a backstage pass to the audience, but we consider what we do a party, and the audience is joining the party.
Well, the stories for me, I mean, the music is fabulous, of course, but what really underscores your show are the stories because, you've been around obviously at the forefront in mainstream music for so many decades and playing alongside so many of the legends themselves, in addition to you. So the stories are great. The music's incredible. I got to ask you, Jay, I look at we have our names up here. You got the J3 going on. You are the third J of the J and the Americans. And again, for us, you're a local hero that comes from singing bars and restaurants, and then doing theaters and doing some great things with Johnny Starr and the Meteors being, which that had to be a rough call for you. Not tough, maybe a little rough, but not tough, obviously. But Johnny Starr and the Meteors was such a great band. And that's how we first met when I first got the Arcada Theatre. It was one of the first bands that I brought to the Arcada.
I remember.
You went from that to becoming Jay. How has this 18-year ride been for you?
Well, this has been, obviously the experience of a lifetime. But what's interesting about it is that I think I adapted fairly quick into being Jay. I mean, you could ask Sandy. It's like I had Sandy, Marty, and of course Howie, who passed. But it was like having three big brothers right on your ass all the time.
Yeah,
So I
we whipped
developed pretty
him,
quick.
we whipped him into shape in a hurry, and it's kind of like he went from being a local guy to a national guy. But the best part of it is, we do play a lot of shows with a lot of the other acts that we played with the other Jay. And it's nice to see how well accepted and respected Jay Renke has become with all these other artists. I mean, we play with Gary Puckett, we play with Gary Lewis, we play with Peter Noon, and they all look at Jay and they know who he is and they respect how he performs his music. So that's not to be taken lightly.
Well, that's not an easy thing. I mean, these guys all grew up under those street lamps, on those street corners, doing the different harmonies, and to break that, Jay, to be able to become part of that fraternity, it is a testimonial to.
He had to prove himself. At
Yep.
the beginning, all of those people, especially the people that sang on stage with us, with Jay Black, with Jay Trainer, they were sitting there with their arms like this, saying, "Oh, what's this guy gonna do? How do you
Impressed me.
ah, prove it to me?"
You know.
You know what? It's 18 years later, and they all love him. So that's testimony to how good a vocalist he is. I'm good at picking Jay.
Yeah,
You are. You are.
yeah, you are. It's
Well,
funny too because I look at it that we're still keeping this music as fresh as it ever was, and I think that's what's great is that from now till heaven knows when, Jay and the Americans will always be out there and always be a force to be reckoned with.
well, you know what? I've learned also, being at the Arcada for the years that I've been there, and the type of acts that we bring to Arcada displays and the other things that we do, and you come to realize that music is fun, right? Music is great. Music's an upbeat, but it's going now. Every year that goes by, it becomes n- uh, as important as the fun part. It becomes an important part, a necessary part. People thank us with tears in their eyes for putting these
Oh,
shows. I just put on a concert and you bought a ticket. Geez, thank you. No, thank you for doing this because it's just keeping us young, keeping us alive, keeping our memories there. And it's an important. It's almost a responsibility to do these songs, right?
it definitely is. You know, after the shows, we always come out. At this point in our career, we really appreciate the fans because they've been with us forever,
Yep.
grew up with us. So it's not like they're strangers anymore. We come out, we see them, we sign things, we talk to them, and a lot of times they're crying. I mean, you see the emotion and the memories that it brings back, between I played this song at my wedding, I got
Mhm.
engaged to this was my first date.
We
My kid,
conceived our children to this. Yes.
they named their kid Sunday after Sunday and me. I mean, the things you hear, and the most emotional are the veterans from the war. Hello,
Yep. Lost you.
I fell down. The veterans from the war that
Yeah.
come to us and say, when we were over there, you guys were what we listened to on Armed Forces Radio. And when we heard the name Jay and the Americans, it was like, wow, that was like a touch of home. So they get real emotional. And it's just a blessing to hear this stuff. You can't make it up.
Well, aside from all this, you guys are just good guys, nice guys. We've been doing it. I've been doing it with you for 20 years now.
Yeah.
So, these are like they're like your big brothers, Jay. These are like my uncles, and we're all at the end of the day, we're all one big family. So I look forward to making my meatballs for you guys. I
Oh, and we look forward to eating them, believe me.
Yeah.
Yes, it's funny. They're now becoming part of actually rider items. We get the rider
Oh,
request, so it's kind of cool. Sandy Dean, Jay, Reiki, John, great to see you, buddy. Great to see you guys, and I can't wait. December 29th. My Christmas to myself is for me to sit and watch your show because I don't watch them all. I'm running back and forth. Your
I,
show is one of the few. I sit there, I participate, I sing along. Can't wait to see you guys.
Well,
hey,
we're
man,
looking forward to
happy
it.
holidays to you, my friend.
All right. Love you
Yeah.
guys. We'll see you.
Hey,
And all you guys out there, it's December 29th, go to oshows.com. Jay and the Americans, one of the best, most American red, white, and blue shows you will ever see. We'll see you then.